This evening on House and Home, Norman discusses further options with PIMS, Origin Gas Talk presents the next step of their Safety with Gas campaign, transporting your gas bottle safely. On Cooking with Besta, we try out some Besta mackerel patties, and we discover some great products over at Brian Bell that'll help you get fit, train, lose weight that are also cost effective. A very good evening to you all and welcome to House and Home. Now, over the years, it has been noted that our standard of education has dropped considerably for most, if not all, our provincial schools, a problem that continues to plague us, affecting our future generations. However, the problem is not as easy to solve, as there are many contributing factors other than the level of education curriculum criteria alone. Now, Norman of the Port Moresby Institute of Matriculation Studies gives us a snapshot of the challenges in education and human resource development that many provinces are facing today.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome once again to this, the 15th PIMS episode on House and Home. The education system in a good number of provinces may be in so much trouble that students there are struggling to find places in our tertiary institutions, in particular our universities. There is no doubt these provinces will suffer in years to come in various aspects of the development if this continues to happen. For resource-poor provinces like my province of Manus, the view and position that education is first and foremost and economic investment rings truer, louder and clearer for us than other provinces, I have to say. For a long time, and it continues to be so, the chief revenue earner for the province outside of government budget allocation was remittances from working Manusians outside the province. But you know what? The remittance linear graph of Manus province has gone from one with a positive slope to a horizontal slope and now a declining negative slope. This means less and less payments are going to Manus from working Manusians each year, an infallible, consistent, sure warning sign that things may not be so good on the human resource development front for our province. Logically, retiring, deceased or out-of-job elites are not being replaced fast enough. You know, for Manus, the writing had been on the wall for some time. After years of decline in education standards, the year 2013 was particularly bad for the Manus province. I can be corrected if I'm wrong, but from various and consistent sources, not a single student originating from secondary schools in Manus province was selected to any of our universities in 2014, a far cry from the glory days of the past. Another example, a report in one of our main daily newspapers, 15 July 2011, the title read, "Illiteracy High in Resource-Rich Lands, Southern Highlands, home to all hydrocarbon resources discovered to date in PNG, as well as the bulk of the PNG LNG project. Recent population 546,265. The majority, 63.5% of population is illiterate, cannot read and write. Universal basic education indicators, rate of school admission is a low 12.5%. The report also found that the high inability of students in Southern Highlands province to secure places at PNG universities was serious. In the context that the province of Southern Highlands is probably the number one and most important resource province right now, the province itself and indeed the rest of the country cannot be too comfortable long term if students here are having a hard time finding places at our universities or other tertiary institutions. After all, they are the principal traditional custodians of these resources. The report ended with the following statement, and I quote, "These are people who are suddenly made to come to grips with development taking place in their midst on a scale and speed they could never dream not so long ago." The two examples of Manus and Southern Highlands that I've just used are probably a reliable and important snapshot of challenges in education and human resource development that many other provinces are facing today. The issue of selections to tertiary institutions can be touchy and contentious at times, especially if you are the parents, guardians, or sponsors on the unfavorable receiving end of a selection outcome. The frustration and disappointment can be quite understandable, especially in the case where a student more than meets minimum GPA requirements but still misses out on tertiary selection. Consequently, time and again, sentiments of nepotism, wantoism, and general malpractice in the selection process surface. Allegations of error, negligence, mismanagement, or even incompetence at various levels of our education system in the management and handling of student assessments have been blamed for harming or disadvantaging student results. Unfortunately, these sentiments and concerns will have to remain as allegations at best in the absence of real proof or evidence, which can only come through proper investigation and research. However, what we can say is that utmost care, honesty and diligence must continue to be taken at all times by schools, agencies and those responsible for the entire management of student assessments, awards and ultimately the selection process. Students find themselves at the critical crossroad point in life after grade 12 with so much at stake. The last thing they will want is some system or process failure that will derail their life's ambitions and dreams. But overall, our education system, the selection process, the personnel and trust that have been tested and tried, we should give them credit for the tasks they have performed over the years. Many educated and successful Papua New Guineans today, myself included, bear testimony to that. In closing, most full-time enrollment opportunities at all our PIM centers as well as the new NSI, the Norman Sike Institute, have now closed. However, a lot of these courses are still available through distance or correspondence studies. As we've been mentioning, students who complete grade 10 or 12 secondary studies at PIMS or other schools can transit directly to do tertiary level diploma courses of their choice at NSI. Currently, PIMS has centers in NCD, Ley, Medang, Wewak, Keviang, Manus and Wabeg. The usual PIMS secondary level courses are number 1, grade 9 to 12 formal secondary, number 2, pre-11 secondary bridging course, number 3, pre-matriculation, number 4, adult matriculation, number 5, grade 12 upgrading, number 6, extra skills in business and computing, and number 7, correspondence studies. On the other hand, the NSI tertiary level diploma courses are being offered in the selected centers of NCD, Ley, Medang, Kevian, and Wabeg in 2014. However, now that full-time enrollments at NSI have closed in these centers, you can do courses through correspondence now or wait for full-time second semester enrollment in July of this year. The NSI diploma courses are number 1, pre-diploma bridging course, number 2, diploma in accounting, number 3, diploma in business management, number 4, diploma in human resource management, number 5, diploma in sales and marketing, number 6, diploma in computer science, number 7, diploma in mathematics, and number 8, correspondence studies. For further information and application forms for both PIMS and NSI courses nationwide, please contact the following address on the screen: PIMS NCD, PO Box 775 Boroko NCD, phone 325-4815 and mobile 727-33345, 710-68149 and 704-64121. The email address for PIMS is pimsinfoa@gmail.com and the PIMS website address is www.pims.ac.pg for easy information and application downloads. The email address for the Norman Sike Institute NSI is nsiinfoa@gmail.com. So to conclude, if selections to tertiary institutions are purely and largely based on academic merit, as they should be, then the poor, low, almost non-existent intake of grade 12 students in Manus, Southern Islands and other similar provinces must be of real concern to these provinces. It has to be. What it means is that a lot of students in these badly performed provinces are falling well short and not meeting the required academic standards and therefore missing out on selections. Sorry to say this, but for me, it is totally unacceptable that an entire province cannot send a single student to a university in a given year. If such provinces continue to have dismal and very poor representation of their students in institutions of higher learning continuously and for too long, it will do them great harm in most aspects of their development in years to come. These provinces need to go back to the drawing board, take stock of what has gone wrong, and come up with serious, visionary and forward-moving plans of education in their respective provinces to counter this dismal situation. For provinces that have the capacity, taking a leaf out of what some leading provinces like Enga and New Ireland are doing in education won't be such a bad idea. Once again, I thank you all for your attention tonight. Till we meet again in 2 weeks' time for another PIMS episode, it's good night to you all. Have a safe and good week. Thank you.
Yes, there have been quite a few disappointed parents and guardians at the start of this year's tertiary education year where their child or children received an unfavorable selection outcome, especially in the cases where the child's tertiary entry level had more than met the minimum GPA entry requirements. Regardless, if your child has acquired high marks, don't give up. Seek alternatives to further their education. More on House and Home in a moment. Welcome back, and a big warm welcome if you just tuned in to the show. Let me ask you a question. Are you one that has trouble getting a good night's sleep, especially after a long day at work? If so, have you highlighted and addressed the factors that may be the cause of you having trouble sleeping? Why I ask is that over the past couple of weeks, I've managed to pay attention to clients, general meetings I have with groups of people, and even friends. And one thing that I've noticed is how tired certain individuals seemed. When asked the question, the answers received rung similarities. Not being able to get enough sleep due to this and that, my mind won't shut down, restless nights, I can't fall asleep until after midnight, and when I awake, I struggle to get out of bed. Does any of this sound familiar to you? I know it does to me because I was doing the exact same thing, fighting insomnia. But I've managed to slowly turn things around for the betterment for myself. We live in this fast-paced life filled with stress, worry, and lack of self-care most times. You tend to find yourself in frantic moods, the need to rush, and before you know it, the pressure mounts up. Stress takes lead in your life and you struggle day in and day out. Not a very nice place to find yourself in. Sleep is vital. Your body and your mind needs at least a good 7 to 8 hours of good rest. Besides that, you need to identify your contributing factors to your restless or sleepless nights and either cut back or eliminate. Here are some simple tips I can share with you on how I've managed to turn my sleeping habits around. Now, I'm always on the go and very rarely have time for myself, and I forget to do things that are quite important and get stuck into bad habits. First thing I did was to identify things that contributed to my poor sleep patterns, starting with what foods and drinks I have been taking and what I liked. I found that my junk intake exceeded my need for nutritional meals only because I was too lazy to pack a sandwich or pack of fruit to take with me to work and spent money unnecessarily on deep-fried foods. I found I wasn't drinking enough water daily and I drank far too much coffee per day. Hence one of the reasons why my body couldn't relax fast enough after work, so I turned that around. I increased my water intake, reduced my coffee intake, and if I needed to drink more, I'd drink green tea as a substitute for the rest of the day. I snacked healthier and saved a few kilos here and there in the process. The next contributing factor was working from home after hours. Generally, it's not ideal that you take your work home with you, especially if you have a family to go home to. They need your time and you need theirs as a refreshing change from your hectic work life. However, if you're anything like me and you need to take work home with you, try to give yourself enough time to power down on all your devices at least 3 hours before you get to bed. I found that my other distraction from getting a good night's sleep was being on the phone and my laptop till early hours of the morning. At times it was not necessary and it became a bad habit. So by 8 p.m. my laptop shuts down and my phone goes off. When I get the sense of a struggle to get to sleep, instead of watching TV or a movie, I've now got myself into the habit of drinking a cup of green tea or chamomile tea and settle with a book or just flip through a magazine. I found that to be a great way for me to wind down. Now, last but not least, after a really tough day, instead of just taking it on and being grumpy for the rest of the evening, I got myself into doing some form of light exercise just to relieve the stress without adding physical stress to the body. A good afternoon walk or half an hour to an hour at the gym is all that's needed. Now, when I look back, these were just simply things I could have done ages ago, but was a bit too ignorant. My energy levels have increased, I am more productive, and a more happier me with the better rest, exercise, and better diet. Now, coming up after the break is knowing how to transport your gas bottle safely on Origin Gas Talk, so stay watching.
Good evening, viewers. I am Henry, and thank you once again for joining us on another episode of Origin Gas Talk, where we continue with our 8 block of awareness safety with gas campaign. In episode 3, we demonstrated the correct way of connecting your gas safely and disconnecting your gas safely if either a problem arises or a simple need of just refilling your gas bottle. And last week, we demonstrated certain ways on how you should lift your gas cylinder safely without causing any injury to yourself. In this episode of Origin Gas Talk, we will go through and demonstrate ways on how to transport the different sizes of gas cylinders safely. Now, before we go straight into that, let's have a look at the different size cylinders that are available, especially for use within the home or supplied for commercial usage. You will find in a number of households these various sizes of cylinders: the 4.5 kg, 9 kg, 13 kg, and the 45 kg gas cylinder. All depending on your frequent use of gas, you can choose from the cylinders available the preferred size of cylinders that would suit your lifestyle best. Our LP gas is available nationwide and from our depot and authorized dealers and leading hardware stores. Now, continuing on with our 8th block of safety awareness campaign, transporting your gas safely. Be aware that all gas cylinders carry a weight. Depending on the size, the larger the cylinder, the heavier it will be. It becomes a whole lot heavier, especially when the cylinder is full. Whenever you are transporting a 4.5 kg or a 9.5 kg full cylinder in a car, always keep your cylinders upright and secured. Wind all glasses down to allow plenty of air for ventilation. This means that no more than one person should be in the car, whether you're in a taxi or hitching a ride with a friend. With larger cylinders, such as your 13 kg and 45 kg gas cylinders, always transport in an open back vehicle. Must be secured and kept upright. Take note that smaller cylinders, such as your 4.5, 9 kg, 13 kg, and 4.5 gas cylinders, must be secured and kept upright when transporting. Do not lie flat. These are simple and very practical steps on the correct ways to transport your gas safely. They are quite easy to follow. If you would like a copy of this flyer, please contact our Origin office. The contact details are now appearing on your screen, or you can visit our nearest depot close to you. Also, if you would like to catch this particular segment or our past segments of Origin Gas Talk on House and Home, you can log on to MTV website www.mtv.com.pg to view this episode or episodes prior. Thank you again for joining me on another episode of Origin Gas Talk. I look forward to your company once again next time, where we continue on with our 8th block of safety awareness campaign. Because of the nature of our product, LP gas, Origin prides on safety as a core value, and we feel socially responsible as a corporate citizen to extend this culture to our customers and of course you, our valued viewers. Also remember to keep an eye out on Uncle Gasman appearance at any of our local Origin LP gas dealer. And remember, LP gas, life made easier. Have a good evening.
Well, this is the year for many taking their health and fitness quite seriously. And to further help you along, Brian Bell has some products that can very well help you to get fit, train and lose weight that's not going to burn a huge hole in your pockets. That's coming right up after these messages. Welcome back. In this segment, it's all about how you can get fit and do your training at home that's not going to cost as much as going to the gym every day. This also will appeal greatly to all the stay-at-home mums or those who can only spare no more than 20 minutes to half an hour during the week. Let's join Bill Neal, who has some fantastic sporting products from brands I know most, if not all, are well familiar with.
Hey, hey, Mr. B.
Good evening and welcome back to another Brian Bell segment on House and Home. I'm your host for the evening, Bill Neal. Here are some facts about the times that we live in. Time is becoming increasingly scarce. There aren't enough hours in the day to do the things that we want to do. Obesity, diabetes and high blood pressure are on the rise throughout the world and definitely in Papua New Guinea. Joining a gym is expensive for most people. All these facts lead to the fact that people need to live healthier and more active lifestyles. If you participate in competitive physical sports, for example, rugby league, rugby union, soccer or AFL, you should know by now that core strength is integral to all the components of performance. Strength, endurance and fitness depend on a good level of core strength. So to recap all that back, time is scarce. We need to stay fit and healthy, but not at the expense of gym memberships. If you play sports, then training hard is not the whole answer. You need to train smart so that you maximize the benefit that you get for the long, hard hours that you put in. In tonight's segment, I'll introduce you to the latest Reebok and Adidas sports equipment to hit the shelves at Brian Bell. These products are sold separately and can perform specific functions, but when you combine all these products together, you have yourself an inexpensive gym that allows for a variety of exercises which keep your heart rate up, burn the calories, strengthen, condition and work your muscles. Talk about killing 3 birds with 1 stone. So I've enlisted the help of a few guys to help me show off these products to you. Tyler and Tomasi are trainers here at the True Warrior Gym, situated on Koani Street here in Gordons, just 50 meters up the road from Esco. At the True Warrior Gym, they run sessions that put you through a physical workout, simply using resistance, your own body weight and circuit training. So who better to show off these products to you than these guys? They've obviously reaped the benefits themselves, so have their clients, so why don't you come down and check them out. Circuit training is a form of body conditioning or resistance training using high-intensity aerobics. It targets strength building and muscular endurance. An exercise, circuit, is one completion of all prescribed exercises in the program. When one circuit is complete, one begins the first exercise again for the next circuit. Traditionally, the time between exercises in circuit training is short, often with rapid movement to the next exercise. So as you've just seen, we have set up a circuit to show off the different products that we're using. Pay close attention to see how we use these products, because there is not one correct way on how to use these products, which leaves the door open, allows for variety. Also, pay close attention on the muscle groups that we're using, and remember, warm up and stretch before and after training. Now here we've set up a circuit to show off our Reebok and Adidas products, and by the end of this, I will definitely be needing a wheelchair to wheel me out of here. But don't worry, Brian Bell stocked those too. Seriously. Now let's start off with the dumbbells. They come in 2, 3, 4 and 5 kilograms. They're sold 2 in a box, perfect for toning arms and incorporating into your training. Cowbells come in 2.5, 5 and 7.5 kilograms. You don't want heavy weights when doing circuit training. Medicine balls, easy to grip material. Reebok have step boards. This is the variation step board, but we also have your normal step board in stock. Wrist weights and hand weights fit comfortably and increase the intensity of your workout. Resistance tube, mat. There are also other products that we have not included in this segment. Due to the lack of rest that circuit training demands, you maintain elevated heart rates for the entire period of exercise. The combination of weight training and increased cardiovascular effort makes circuit training a beneficial type of cross-training. You gain muscle through resistance training. The exerciser increases his or her cardiovascular endurance during the slightly elevated heart rate. This is maintained in between sets and throughout the overall program. The exerciser burns high amounts of calories during the high exertion periods of his or her sets. Circuit training is also a convenient way to exercise. It maximizes the total number of sets, repetitions, and amount of weight completed in a period of time. Exercises are completed in a row, and therefore the time spent exercising is condensed, which means it could only take you 30 minutes to do a good full body workout. Separate cardiovascular training is not necessary. All body parts are trained in one session, and therefore you do not need to work out every day. The product offering from Adidas is very similar to that of Reebok's, except the Adidas products focus a little bit more on the resistance side of training. So let's have a look at how these products work. Sports players and teams, being explosive off the mark, jumping higher than your opponent and having a core strength are key areas that these products can assist you with. Resistance exercise is also known as strength training, and it is performed to increase the strength and mass of muscles, bone strength and metabolism. It is important for you to gain sufficient muscle strength because it can help you perform daily activities with ease. Resistance exercise stimulates the development of small proteins in muscle cells, which will in turn enhance your muscle's ability to generate force. The parachute simulates taking off on the spot, but with resistance. We don't have it here, but this is in stock. It helps develop the muscles needed to accelerate, fine-tuning them to respond faster and better than your opponents. Medicine balls, easy with grip. Ankle weights and wrist weights. Lateral speed resistor, power tube, and skipping ropes. Not all products are included in this segment. Here's a fun fact for you. Exercising 150 minutes a week reduces the likelihood of diabetes in men, with a protective effect existing for both aerobic and weights training, with people participating in both experiencing lowest risk. If you break this down, this simply means that you need to push play 30 minutes a day and keep the obesity and diabetes at bay. Don't just push it over to, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, because this just turns into next year and then 5 years. Get active. If you're getting ready for the soccer season, pre-season for rugby, or fitness for basketball, if you're a stay-at-home mum with a lot of free time during the day, or if you just want the benefits of health, to turn back the clock and revisit your slimmer days, but most importantly, have the motivation to do so, Brian Bell have the products to help you out. Great products, great prices. That is Brian Bell. Here's a video to show you how versatile these products are. See you all next week.
Best price, best quality, guaranteed at Brian Bell.
Right on, Mr. B.
Well, there you go. More reasons to get into action to get fit and healthy. If you're one of those who've started and has kept going, good on you. Don't give up. For those who have been wanting to and haven't just yet started to get into a routine of regular exercising, there's no better time than the present. Remember, you need to make that effort, even if it's just starting small with simple floor exercises with some of the products you've just seen. Some of those Reebok products will come in handy, and I know someone who simply loves anything and everything Reebok. She's a true Reebok lady at heart. Well, Reebok products have now been made available through all Brian Bell stores. Besides the simple exercises, I've mentioned this before, you can also start with your diet by eating in moderation. If you're a big eater in particular, reduce that pile of food on your plate to something of a more decent sized consumption. Once you get that under control, you'll start to find a happier you. Also, if you have been accustomed to eating processed foods, start making the effort of swapping that as often as you can with fresh organic foods. After the break, we head on over to the House and Home kitchen for some Besta mackerel patties. See you in a moment.
It's the tastiest tuna in a can. It's the new Besta tuna chunks in 185 grams, packed with 100% premium white meat goodness. The finest export quality tuna is now available nationwide in oil and brine. Besta tuna chunks and Bestia, proudly PNG made.
Good night, everyone, and welcome back to another Cooking with Besta program. For tonight's recipe, I will show you how to prepare Besta mackerel patties. In front of me, we have 200 gram cornmeal, 1 onion chopped, 1 egg, a little water, 100 gram rosemary, and our main ingredient, a can of Besta mackerel in tomato sauce. So firstly, we add in our Besta mackerel. We add in our cornmeal. Egg. A little water. And we mix all that up. Break the mackerel so you can mix your ingredients well. Remember, I am using Besta mackerel in tomato sauce to prepare this recipe. Besta mackerel in tomato sauce comes in 3 different sizes. The 425 gram or 15-ounce can, the 200 gram or 7-ounce can, and the 155 gram 5.5 can. Okay, we add in our onion, our rosemary, and we mix all that up again. Okay viewers, this is how your mackerel patty should look like. In front of me, I already have my greased tray, baking tray. So what we'll do now, we'll make little patties and just put on the tray. Okay viewers, now our Besta mackerel patties are ready to be baked. You can bake in the oven until golden brown. Okay viewers, our Besta mackerel patties are now ready to be served. And here it is, Besta mackerel patties. Thank you for watching and hope you join me again same time next week on House and Home Cooking with Besta. It's better, it's Besta, pride of PNG.
It's the tastiest tuna in a can. It's the new Besta tuna chunks in 185 grams, packed with 100% premium white meat goodness. The finest export quality tuna is now available nationwide in oil and brine. Besta tuna chunks and Bestia, proudly PNG made.
Something quick and easy which you can have pretty much any time of the day, and I'm certain that it will be quite a hit with the children to include as part of their lunch or even for a Friday night family footy dinner. We'll be back with more on House and Home in a moment. Now next week, Dr. Ambi talks more on mental health. PSP presents their March update. We add curry to the mix on Cooking with Besta tuna curry, and it's more great quality buys to share over at Brian Bell. Well, this brings us to the end of the show, but before I go, I'll share with you something I learned about puffy or swollen eyes. Now, I know quite a few of you women out there would be able to relate to this. Puffy or swollen eyes is usually caused by fluid retention, either stress, allergies, hormone changes, and other factors. Crying is often accompanied by swollen eyes because of the tiny glands in the eyelids that produce tears become inflamed from overactivity. Also, from time to time, we can get puffy eyes after sleeping. This can be caused by too much sodium in the diet, which causes water retention. Puffy eyes can also be caused by a lack of sleep or excessive alcohol intake. Now, how can one reduce swelling for the normal puffy eyes that are not caused by eye conditions such as conjunctivitis, styes, allergies, or other eye infections? Well, there are quite a number of natural remedies that really do work, and here are just a few that I find that gives me the results I want. Refrigerate a small potato for about an hour at the least. Take out and slice into 2 halves, then gently place each half over your eyes for 15 to 20 minutes. But make sure that the potatoes also covers the puffed areas under your eyes. You should notice a tremendous change in those bags under your eyes as they end up diminished in size. Cucumbers are also a fantastic natural remedy to get rid of under-eye puffiness. Take 2 slices of fresh refrigerated cucumber and place on your eyes for 25 minutes. This also allows you to relax as well, as it helps refresh your mind as well as your eyes, and the anti-inflammatory properties of the cool cucumber will naturally help reduce puffy tissue. Green tea also works. Relax with a damp, chilled green tea bag over each eye. The natural properties of green tea will help bring puffy eyes back to the original size. Also, if you're in a hurry and don't want to go with droopy eyes, then the normal tea bags are just the way to go. Just moisten 2 tea bags in cold water, refrigerate them for a while, lie back and place them over your eyes for 25 to 30 minutes. Wash your eyes and face with cold water and dry your skin well. You would feel relaxed and rejuvenated. I'm aware that some have used chilled milk for extremely puffy eyes, beaten egg whites and ice packs even. So take note of these remedies as they may prove quite useful for you. This is where I leave you. Keep thinking and live healthy. Until next week, from the House and Home crew and myself, it's good night.